Welcome to the Ghost Squadron. This is the first time that this car, alongside another one, are getting unveiled here in Australia. These are special. This is the JESKO, named after Christian von Koenigsegg's own dad, in tribute to his dad. These cars are going to be ultra rare, only 125 produced for the worldwide market. Each one bespoke to each individual owner's customization, any color you want to choose on the interior and exterior. This is the Absolute. So this is the version that's produced to produce the highest number, meaning the fastest Koenigsegg ever produced to date. It's not the track. So there's a track version that has a big spoiler at the back. This one doesn't have that spoiler. So this has a drag coefficient of 0.28, absolutely minimal. So the whole front end and the whole car is slippery. The differences are that in the track version, this piece here has a nice aerodynamic sharpness to it. There's a bit more aerodynamic parts on the body. This is more minimal, but it still looks sensational in person. It's produced to glide through air like an aeroplane. But one thing is for sure, when I first look at this car, it looks so aggressive. That front lower splitter, don't worry, you're not going to knock it around hitting a speed bump here in Australia or anywhere else. This raises up by 10 to 15 centimeters. It actually lifts the whole car up. So the front suspension and rear suspension lifts right up. So you can clear whatever it is that's on the road, that's in your way. Okay, so now the JESKO is like any other Koenigsegg. This roof comes off, but in the Absolute, you can store this roof in the car. On the track version, you can't. You've got to leave that on the floor in your garage at home. Another thing as well is that this car has so much carbon fiber that Koenigsegg spends so many hours. What they said to us was that if you spec a car in visible carbon fiber, it takes an extra 1,000 hours to create the car. Hence why you have to pay an extra 150,000 euros for visible carbon. And if you want tinted visible carbon, meaning a purple color, blue, orange, whatever you like through it, that goes up to 300,000 euro. Absolutely insane, but you pay for the hours. When I said 125 examples will be produced, what Koenigsegg is also saying is that 1/3 of those orders are for this, the Absolute. So the difference once again between this and the track version is that the track has a massive spoiler. This has a special canyon type of air splitter on either side of that engine bay. So what this does is when you go straight, it slices through the air to produce 150 kilograms of downforce as opposed to 2.5 ton of downforce that the track version creates. Hence why this has a top speed that is 30 to 40 kilometers per hour higher than the track version. So when you drive, it goes through like a Venturi tunnel, and then the vortex of all that air and pressure falls right behind the car, not onto the car. So the car is always slicing air, and it creates a better stream to hit that top speed for which this car is designed. One other aspect of this, whilst we're at the back, is the engine. This is something of phenomenal presence here. It's a V8 5-litre twin turbo that produces 1,280 horsepower with your regular 95, 98 octane, but put E85 in here and that boosts it to 1,600 horsepower, making it the fastest Koenigsegg that they've ever created for a top speed car. This, the Absolute. The JESKO has two things in mind. For the Absolute, that is the top speed. So it's got a 9-speed gearbox, whereas the track version has a 7-speed gearbox. Both gearboxes made in-house and both are seamless. So what I mean is that they change gears in 1,000th of a millisecond. So you can go from first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and it's so seamless. This is what Koenigsegg call the light speed transmission, solely made and innovative to Koenigsegg. You couldn't help but notice that this wheel here has a flat design. So this is a cover that goes on top of the carbon fiber spokes, all a part of the wheel. So every wheel on this car weighs only 3.6 kilograms, making them a solid carbon fiber, so they're not mixed with metal like other brands use. But let me tell you one thing, they're flat here, this design, for the aerodynamic force, so it can actually slice through the air for that top speed. The track version doesn't have these covers in between each spoke on the wheel. So the tyres on this car are Michelin Pilot Sport Pro Cup 2. So this is for ultra stickiness, for the car to stick like glue onto the tarmac. So they're 325 wide at the rear, 21 inch, and we have 20 inch at the front. The calipers are 6 pistons at the front and 4 pistons here at the rear. They say that the JESKO is the fastest stopping car in the world. From 0 to 400 back to 0 again, it's the fastest one. And it beats most cars by 6 to 8 seconds. Now that I've introduced you to the JESKO, it's time to check out the second car. Here we have the second Koenigsegg. It's not a supercar, it's not a hypercar, but it's a mega car. A total of 1.27 megawatts produced from this hybrid car. So what GEMERA means? This is the name. Je means give, mera means more. So they gave us more. 4 seats, a high top speed of 400 kilometers per hour plus, EV engine, hybrid, 3-cylinder, and a total power of 2,000 horsepower. That's simply impeccable. All that with no gearbox. So there's no flywheel, no camshafts in the engine. So it's got a 3-cylinder petrol engine that produces 600 horsepower. The rest of the power comes from the electric motors that's on all 4 wheels. This car is the world's quickest 4-seater at 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in only 1.9 seconds. Is there anything quicker than that? Now, when you walk over to the doors, you'll notice that the mirrors are cameras. So they've got a screen inside the car. They act like an actual mirror. Another thing, that these doors here are over 2 meters long, taller than I am. And that is amazing. That is for 4 people to sit in this car so they can enter this car comfortably because there is no B-pillar whatsoever. Now, the length of this car, it measures at a whopping 4.95 meters in length with a massive wheelbase, as you can see before you. This car is big in person and it does stand out a lot. Now over to the rear. First up on the roof here, just below the roof, is an Acropolic exhaust system. So Koenigsegg didn't decide to make this exhaust in-house. Acropolic makes some of the world's loudest and best sounding exhaust. So why not get them to actually make an exhaust system that gives this car extra sound? Now, we're back here, we see this ghost, and we see this ghost everywhere, this ghost symbol. Now this symbol here is a ghost squadron. So Sweden, where this car is made, these were the old World War fighter jet squad that used to fly planes and go to war with the same symbol. So these cars are produced in the same air hangar as the planes were parked once before these cars. So this is a glass top here. What I see is that 3-cylinder engine. So it's got it's not just the engine, hence why I got stuck on so. It stores your luggage. So you can fit 3 bags in here as a snug fit. 3 at the rear, 1 at the front bonnet. So 4-seater car, 4 people, 4 bags. Did you like the dihedral synchro helix doors? They're quite special, aren't they? I love them. Different design. But see this screen here? That's the mirror. So no mirrors on the outside. It's that camera as I mentioned, and you see it all here on a digital display. Okay, the whole interior, the cabin is a carbon monocoque. All you have is leather, carbon, and Alcantara. You can spec it any way you wish. Each seat acts like its own monocoque because there is no B-pillar. So we've got each seat belt here retracts and goes right into the back of the seat. So it's all a standalone unit for each individual passenger. On the center here, we've got the prop shaft that goes right through the car here with all the electrical systems and the batteries in the centerpiece. The car here is very special indeed. It's got 4 cup holders, not ordinary cup holders, but they cool your drink or they can heat your drink if you have a coffee. Next thing, the steering wheel. This is one thing that I like about this car, is that the display on the steering wheel moves around like a compass. So it shows a level digital display as you turn this wheel. And everything on the screen here, they've got 2 TFT screens, so you can actually shift through your music and answer phone calls right here on your actual steering wheel. And it's got no stalk whatsoever. It's a clean design. It's got a massive iPad looking screen in the middle here to cover all your maps and audio equipment. And it's got nothing else, but it's a sports luxury mega car. You heard that right, mega car. Now think about that again. So in the back, there's enough room for 2 adults. Again, you've got your own little cockpit here, your own screen in the center, and you can control all that you want. And another 4 cup holders. Again, they cool and heat your cups. But one thing, it doesn't feel claustrophobic. They've given us a glass piece right through the middle here and a glass at the rear. And all this is a glass panel door up on the top. So this car does feel spacious. I actually fit. A guy like me, I barely fit in other cars, other 4-seater cars. I can't get into the back. In this, a mega car, I can sit here at the back. Believe me, there's nothing else like it. Being a mega car where you can actually take your family for a spin, it's still a sports car. It retains that aspect. It's got a carbon fiber wheel, again 3.6 kilograms, just like the JESKO. 250 Newton meters of torque to actually tighten up these center locks. It's got the industry best brakes. So 6 piston at the front, 4 piston at the rear, carbon ceramic. What more else would you want? Now that I've wrapped up the GEMERA and the JESKO, 2 cars for the first time on Australian turf, here at Sullivan Kerr in Melbourne, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.